Let's see. Hello, Janet. This is Janet, everyone. She is one of my students and she's incredible. And we're just going to do a little chat today and talk about her journey, how far she's come, and like what you all can learn from her. So welcome, Janet.
Thank you. This feels so professional. I love it.
Yeah, so kind of take us back to the beginning. Like, who were you when when we had our first conversation, and what was that like for you? Like, if you can go back to that like time and space that you were, like, who were you? Introduce us to the old you.
Yes, great question. I had just been laid off, um, probably like a month or two before our first conversation, and I had a lot of pain and hurt about that specifically. And yeah, just a lot of anger and a lot of uncertainty about what I wanted to do next. I knew that the role that I had been in previously wasn't healthy, and I was not healthy being in that role. And I didn't want to go into a new job being that same person, but I didn't know how to change that. Um, yeah, it was very easy for me to switch and be complainy, pessimistic, um, seeing things negatively. And I just knew like this isn't working out for me anymore. And I really want to change this, but I just don't really know how to start. And so I was desperate. I really wanted to work on these things and I didn't know where to start. And I'd been following your work for a while. I met you like right before the pandemic happened, which is weird to think about now. And you had started sharing these really powerful affirmations on your social media that really resonated with me. And I was like, wow, okay, I want more of this. Also, what is this? And how can I have more of this in my life? And how do I become just like a more confident, healthier person? And so we worked together and here we are.
Yes. And two, I think it's important, you alluded to it a little bit, but like, explain your energy, because your energy is so different. Like, even in conversations, like, how would you describe your energy like before you started doing the work?
Yeah. I don't know if like dark and light are good ways to describe that, but like, yeah, everything was just very heavy all the time. And yeah, you had mentioned this in one of your free videos that I'd watched, that there are two types of people: people who believe that life happens to you, and then people who believe that life happens for you. And I very much was in the life happens to you camp. Like the sky was always falling, everything was horrible, everything was so scary. And now I just feel like I feel so much lighter,
Mm.
um, a lot more free, and just like I have all this mental clarity now because I'm not so focused on everything sucks, woe is me. Like I feel like I can see the beauty and the blessings in everything now.
Wow, I could cry. That's so good,
Oh,
so beautiful. And it's so crazy to see how much you've shifted. Even like, you're so much more grounded, and
mm.
the way that you even speak about yourself is so different, and you look different too. It's crazy. So what do you feel like was the breakthrough moment for you when you decided to make this commitment to yourself? Like, what was it, when you got in there, that was like, wow, this is a breakthrough for me?
um, I just realized that well, first of all, I really hated myself for a long time. And one of the things that I was really struggling with was acne. Like I'd had this, it was so weird because I never struggled with it growing up. I was one of those kids that was like miraculously saved from it. And then I hit 23, 24, and I was like, why do I look like I'm 13 all of a sudden? Like, this is very weird. Um, and it just took a really, really big toll on my already low self-confidence. And it's just been something that I've been struggling with for a long time. And I realized like the things kind of go hand in hand. Like I realized like I so what, I'm just going to hate myself for the rest of my life if this never goes away. Because I was like, oh,
Wow.
it's easy to think that I'm beautiful when my skin is clear, but what about when it's not? Like,
Mm.
and what if it never goes away? And that's just, a thought that you have when you have anxiety. It's like the what ifs, like what if this situation never changes? And I realized, okay, this could be a very real thing. It could never go away. I could always be struggling with this. Do I really want to hate myself for my entire life? No.
Wow.
And then also like, do I really want to wait until things are perfect for me to be happy, or can I just figure
Mm,
out and be happy now? Um, yeah,
full
so that
body
really,
chills.
that was a lot. Yeah, that was a huge thing for me. And then I feel like I found you like right around that time when I was thinking through that stuff. Um, so it was just like, I don't know, I don't really believe in coincidences, but just the timing of that was really cool.
That's amazing. That's cool. And then when you're thinking about like as you're working through the coaching and the modules, what was the breakthrough there for you? Was there something about um, the work that we had done that shifted your perspective about who you could be moving forward?
Mm. One that really comes to mind, there's, it's hard to just pick one because there's so many things, but one of them that was really huge for me was working through limiting beliefs. And, like the general ones that I feel like a lot of people have, like, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough,
Mhm.
etc. One of the beliefs for me that I realized that I'd been telling myself is I'm not a business person. And I had my own business set up for like 3 years, and I really only used it so that I wouldn't get in trouble with the IRS. Like I had no plans ever to become like a freelance person or really pursuing that as a career. It was just like a side thing set up for when I did a couple shoots. And yeah, this was this belief that I realized I'd been telling myself because it was a way of holding myself back and like,
Mhm.
okay, this is my out. Like if I ever try this and it doesn't work, oh well, it's because I'm not a business person. Like
Wow.
I don't like math. Like
Yep.
it was just this excuse for myself to not really try or to like let myself think about pursuing this as an option for a career. So that was a really big one for me.
And what have you
And
done
something
now
else.
with your
Oh,
business?
sorry.
Oh no, now that we're talking about it, share like the big news that you shared the other day.
Yeah. So this whole time I've been unemployed, I've been searching for work, and it's just been a lot of closed doors. And I think if this had been me before we were doing this work together, it would have had a really hard toll on my mental health. And for sure, it's frustrating sometimes when there's one that I'm really excited about and they don't even call your references. It's just an immediate no. Like that's still tough, but like I feel like now I've been able to see those rejections as um, closed doors. And it's like, well, these people and these opportunities clearly aren't meant for me. And this is just creating space for the things that
Mm,
are meant for me. So I can take gratitude in that. Um, so I've kind of taken these as a sign that, well, maybe I'm just not supposed to do anything right now with like a regular full-time 9 to 5 job with a company. Maybe I just want to do my own thing. And I'm a photographer, videographer, love shooting concerts, weddings, would love to do more video work with nonprofits. And all of this has really like allowed me to have the time to be able to pursue that. And beforehand, I never would have done this. I didn't have the confidence to do it at all. I mean, over at Christmas break, I was with my partner's family, and his dad had said, like, I mean, why don't you just do your own business? Like, you're good at it. Like, what are you doing? Looking for jobs? Like, why don't you just do it? And I was like, no, no, no. I just didn't have the confidence. I didn't think I was good enough, and I didn't want to try because I was so afraid to fail. And now I'm just like, well, all right. I have the tools, I have the skills, and now I finally have the confidence to make this work. So, yeah, I've been trying to do this full time now, and it's been really interesting because it's like opportunities keep coming, and I
mm,
never expected that. It's like I'm sure there will be slow months too, and there are slow days, and that's fine. It always feels really good. Um, but yeah, it's just like one thing got rescheduled. Oh well, two more things came up in its place, and so it's just
wow.
been so interesting to see that. And like I'd shared with you a couple days ago, I had applied for a job with an organization a couple of years ago and made it to the final two, didn't get it. Really, really hurt by that, really frustrated at the time. And then they ended up coming back to me a couple weeks ago and saying, hey, we need some help with video and we thought of you. Like, would you want to help us with the video? And I was like, how the tables have turned.
And it was your
But
biggest contract of all
yes,
time.
yes, biggest budget. Yep. And I wasn't trying to do that to like be exploitative at all. It was just like, okay, this is what it's going to be. I'm nervous to tell you this much money because it's a lot, but they were like, sounds good. And I was like, what? But also like happy dance. And it felt really good.
That's so amazing. You
Yeah.
literally manifested your own business growth and the opportunity to have like the highest paid contract that you've had so far. Wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool. What are some
Boy, am
other
I.
things that right? What are some other things you've manifested so far, or you've been
Yeah.
able to create as a result of this change you've had?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the confidence to just keep going is a huge thing for me. Yeah. I would say, yeah, it's just so interesting too to see like people in my life are showing up, like are presenting themselves, and I finally have the confidence to be able to say like, okay, this kind of relationship or speaking with you in this kind of way like isn't who I want to be anymore. Um, and so it's interesting just the universe giving me these opportunities to kind of I don't want to say cut those people out because that sounds really harsh, but just like love them from afar and
Mm,
focus and cultivate the relationships that are healthy and that are pouring into me and not just taking. Um, yeah, I don't
that's so
know.
good. That's so good. I love it. It's been so amazing to see your growth and your shifts because you're so different. You speak different, you talk about yourself different, everything is different, and it's so cool to see. What is one thing that you would like to say to people that might be in your position right now that were you when you first started?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that if there are things that you don't like and that you know aren't working for yourself, like you have the power to change them. And if you don't like your situation, like of course there's compassion, there's empathy, but like you don't have to stay in that spot of not liking it. Like you can change your situation too, and it might be really hard and it might be messy and ugly, but like it's worth it to do the work to get out of it. Um
Mm.
yeah, I don't know, I just have loved working with you.
Oh, yeah,
A
I loved
lot.
it too. Yes, yes. And what would you say to you at in that moment? Like if you could go back and like be there when you made that decision, what would you go back and say to her?
Yeah, I would say I'm so excited for you. Yeah, and just like this is the last day of who you are now because like
Oof,
someone new is coming. And someone better. Yeah.
so good. I could cry again.
Oh,
That's so beautiful. That's so
thanks.
cool. That's amazing. Was there anything else that you would like to let people know about just like your journey and what their journey could be or anything like that?
Yeah. I've been thinking about this a lot and just like trying to explain it to some of my friends too. And so I'm wondering if that will help. But like really at the most like the simplest terms that I can use for this, it's all this work. It's just a perspective shift and it
Mm.
has the power to do so much stuff. I know some people are like, oh, this is woo woo and like new age crap. And like, I was kind of skeptical too when I started. I was like, what actually is this? But like, if you think about it, it's just like, yeah, where are you putting your energy? What are your intentions? And just like, how can you see life in a way that's more real and more healthy? And like, how can you, um, yeah, just be the embodiment of love and like love on other people. It's so powerful. And it's just like, yeah, the simplest way that I can put it is literally it's just shifting your perspective. But, and
Mhm.
obviously there's a lot of steps and work within that too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's
That's
what I would
so
say.
beautiful. And then there's a story that you told me about someone that you hadn't seen that saw you. Can you share that, what they said to you?
Yes. Yeah. So I have a friend who I hadn't seen in person since the pandemic started. And I hung out with her in person a couple weeks ago. Yeah, just asking about how stuff was going. And I think normally, like, if I hadn't been doing this coaching program and telling her all the rejections, all the stuff that I'd been going through with trying to find work, um, I totally would have talked about that in a different way and just would have been
Hmm.
angry and just bitter about it. And so, but I was able to say honestly, like, it's okay. Like, I know the right thing's coming, and like these things just aren't it, and that's fine. And um, got home, she texted me and she was like, I'm just so proud of you. You have this light about you that I've never seen before, and it's just really cool to see. And I love that. I love validation. And just like, yeah, having other people kind of speak that into you, because for me it's just kind of hard to see that transformation for myself.
Hmm.
um but I didn't even know that it was like I didn't even know that that was something that other people can see in me. Someone who knows me so well too. Yeah, that was really
That's
sweet of her.
amazing. So amazing. Well, I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you. And I know that
Thanks.
this, like, your story is going to be able to help so many people because there are people like in your shoes right now. And I think it's hard for people to see what could be on the other side of like where they're at, but like you're like living proof that it's so possible and that it gets so much better. So thanks for sharing your wisdom. You have so much
Thanks.
wisdom to share. So thanks for hopping on this with me, and we will see you soon. And if someone
Yeah,
needs
sounds good.
video photography work, Janet is your girl. So let her know.
Yes. Thank you.
Amazing. Of course. Yep.